negotiations with Ukraine, Balkan countries, Moldova, and other countries. And we remember very well Russia has been conducting the same negotiations while making concessions with European countries, and Europeans during these negotiations, they put this perspective further and further, while given more prerequisites, like playing a mirage. And you know the outcome of this, while they just abandoned these talks. And all these examples probably could be serve as a useful tool for our counterparts. Thank you very much. And second question, another country, Kyrgyz citizens recently were urged to refrain from traveling to Russia and ban on payments. And the same was done in Tajikistan. To what extent have these issues been resolved so far, and what does it mean for Russian-Kyrgyz relations? I would say that in Russia we are always happy to see more guests coming with all proper documents registered according to the Russian law, and with the proper objectives mentioned in these travel documents. And we're happy to see those coming to develop economic, cultural, and other ties with open hearts, with tourist objectives. So everything which is related to the common will to see the country, to know the country. We are always happy to receive those coming with these objectives and in accordance with our legislation. Probably that would be a very important statement to take for these countries, especially when they are trying to warn their citizens. Moscow Post. Maria Vladimirovna, hello. We have actually two questions. Can you comment on the current visit 1E to Russia is to work out the problems of settlements via the UN? How do the Russian Federation and China solve these problems? I would like to know the member of the Politburo of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China, head of Office of Foreign Affairs. E has arrived in St. Petersburg to participate in a meeting of High Representative of the BRICS and BRICS Plus states in charge of security issues. This is an important area of our partnership with the BRICS member states, and above all with Beijing. The value of this interaction is growing against the backdrop of destabilizing activities of Washington and its satellites. As for the settlements, this topic is not the subject for the forthcoming events. There are other formats at the intergovernmental level for this purpose. Thank you. And the second question, earlier this week, we learned that Ajit Doval, National Security Advisor to Indian Prime Minister, will travel to Russia to discuss peace efforts on Ukraine. Are there any specific Indian proposals for peace talks that can be voiced? How do India proposals differ from the peace initiatives? As far as I know, the purpose of this visit is practically the same as his Chinese counterpart. And we talked at the previous briefing. Then we would like to thank our Indian colleagues for their efforts for the search of peace settlement. And we share the sincere desire of the Indian leadership to contribute to a peaceful political and diplomatic settlement of the conflict. Thank you very much. Baku TV, are you with us?
Baku TV crew here Yes, unfortunately, my question has been posed to you so many times, but I'll try to phrase it in a different way. The Iranian officials have made quite unexpected statements about the Zanzibar corridor. They said that it's trampling on a military and political power of Iran. September 9th, the spokesperson of the Iranian Foreign Ministry has made several controversial statements. He has emphasized the importance of supporting and maintaining integrity and sovereignty of neighboring countries, Armenia to be exact. Probably Armenia should read the Article 9 of the trilateral statement. I think we have already expressed our position at length, and we have communicated it to Iran through our diplomatic channels. I think it could be addressed to the Iranian colleague, and they could specify what Iran is so concerned about. Respect to sovereignty of countries of the region is an important priority for us, because we respect sovereignty of countries of the region, and it is a basic principle of our foreign policy. Thank you. Greater Asia, please. Hello, Ms. Zakharova. Russia continues to develop the northern maritime route and to develop economic ties with the Asian countries. Western countries are trying to complicate our work, and they're imposing restrictions, and they are trying to suspend the participation of investors like in projects like Arctic LNG 2. What is your assessment of the Western influence on the development of the northern maritime route, and what role the corridor could play in the realization of economic plans of Russia in the Asia-Pacific region? Asia is becoming one of the leading global economic centers to the shorter, safe, and effective logistic routes related to the region is increasing. And that's what Vladimir Putin talked about during the Eastern Economic Forum. He elaborated on the efforts to develop the Northern Maritime Route. The topic of the Northern Maritime Route is an international transportation artery that was vividly discussed by the participants of the forum, and we are going to increase the cargo traffic through this route by developing Arctic deposits and fields, by increasing the transit and general reorienting of Russian supplies of goods to the east. Thank you. Voice of the Fatherland, please. Hello, Ms. Zakharova. Voice of the Fatherland. Hello. The Voice of the Fatherland is speaking. We have questions about BRICS. In October, Kazan will host the International Financial and Economic Forum, BRICS. Could you tell us what is how do you see the goal of the forum? Is it going to increase the number of transactions in national currencies? You know that the use of dollar by the Western countries in international financial transactions has been used as a tool of trade wars, and it's stimulating the refusal of dollar as the financial monopoly. engaged in a de-dollarization process because Russia wants so, because it stems from the realities created by the Western countries. If they are blocking transactions in their own currency, we have to do something. We have to make transactions in some way or another, and that's why other countries want to increase the share of transactions and mutual settlements in national currencies. BRICS is no exception. Participants will pay great attention to strengthening financial the current situation in global economy and finance. Says they want to increase the share of national currencies and trade investments and to develop financial instruments and mechanisms of mutual settlements that won't be controlled by the Western dictate. Thank you. We have the second question for you. You have repeatedly commented the future of the world with the multipolarity in it. And what changes what BRICS and multipolarity, what changes could multipolarity or BRICS could offer to the ordinary Russian citizen? You know, I think I should take it as a home assignment. And next briefing, I will tell you more. But I think that's what that will be interesting for people. They're really interested to know more about it. Thank you. The Master together. Hello. The 80th anniversary of victory is approaching. And this memorable date is becoming especially important today because it is important for all anti-fascist, anti-Nazi forces. Compatriots and friends of Russia have many questions in the lead up to the victory day. Despite problems with logistics, with air transportation and other modes of transportation, many would like to visit Russia at the day of celebrations and ceremonies and to visit the victory parade. You know, to be honest, I would like to be on the victory parade too because I have never been there. I'm a compatriot, but I have never been there, and I would really want to be there to visit it. Colleagues, I've been there 3 times, and I've even written a letter where I asked for you to be there because it's quite ridiculous when foreign correspondents are there and they are not looking at interesting things, but instead they're filming something that they could make their sarcastic comments about. But you're not there. Yes, sorry, I've distracted again. Thank you for your question. I'll take it as a home assignment. I understand that you're interested in it in practical terms, and you're interested. It's too soon to talk about it. The preparations are underway. They have just started. I will follow this topic and I will return to it. But I cannot provide you a response because I would like to provide detailed information for you. Okay, I've got it. But there is a small detail, Ms. Zakharova. Recently, Slovakia soldiers, liberators. So the question is if Russia could support its friends. Our ambassadors hold regular meetings with war veterans, and they've been doing that for organized in our embassies. But today our diplomats visit veterans because some veterans are unable to move on their own, to walk on their own to the building of the embassy. So our diplomats, general consuls are visiting veterans. They are helping them, supporting them, and the celebrations themselves are very important. If you are talking about organization of such meeting in Moscow, again, we need to consider it and to discuss it. Vector, please. Russian vector of strategic purpose. We have only one question, Ms. Zakharova. The high-ranking officials of the Russian Foreign Ministry, Sergei Lavrov and Sergei Rabkov, have made. These are minister and the deputy minister have repeatedly made public statements about changes in nuclear doctrine. It directly indicates that this topic is in the competence of the Russian Foreign Ministry. So why to our questions regarding changes of the nuclear doctrine and targeting our strategic nuclear forces to the U.S. territory, as it was during the Soviet period between 1962 to 1994, which deterred the United States from encroachment on our territory and territory of states protected by the Soviet Union. The Russian Foreign Ministry directs us to the Ministry of Defense, but that's a question of targeting. It's a question of political will, and foreign policy is the competence of the Foreign Ministry. You know, we are dealing with foreign policy, and as for all the defense details and all of that, to the Security Council of the Russian Federation. That's all for now. Thank you and see you next time.